You ever roll up to a place you've known all your life? Hell, a spot that's practically woven into your bones, only to have some stranger, backed by a clipboard and a head full of rules, tell you that you don't belong? Yeah, that's what happened to me one sticky Friday in June, sun blazing and nerves already frayed from the drive up from Charlotte. 3 hours crawling behind minivans and dump trucks, a cooler rattling in the back, and my grandfather's old binder wedged on the seat beside me. I'd come back to the lake because, well, there are places in this world where you can breathe easy, where the air smells like cedar and silt, and every creak of the porch tells a story you half remember from childhood. But that afternoon, as I eased my pickup down the gravel road and saw the cabin, just as weathered and stubborn as I remembered, I had no clue I was about to be accused of squatting on my own damn land in front of half the neighborhood and the law. Let me back up a sec. My name's Silas Trenholm. I'm not the type to make a fuss or wave my business around. Most folks, when they start talking about land and cabins, they mean a weekend spot, something you rent on Airbnb for a couple nights. But this place? My granddad built it before I was born, hammering boards through frost and mud, teaching me to fish before I could spell my own name. For years, while everyone else bickered over whose lawn was mowed or who left the dock light on, I kept to myself, buying up little plots of land here and there, slipping deeds into that battered binder, never making a big deal. By the time I hit 40, I owned more of the lake than anyone realized. Not because I wanted power, but because it felt right. Family, roots, a place to disappear. So, I'm hauling my gear up the porch, ready to breathe, when out stomps Marjorie Kincaid, HOA president, sunglasses sharp enough to cut glass, mouth set in a line that says she's never lost a fight, or at least never admitted it. She's got a clipboard clutched like a weapon, and before I can even say afternoon, she's barking at me like I'm a trespasser, demanding to know what I'm doing there, if I'm some weekend renter violating her precious bylaws. I look at her, tired already, and tell her straight, "This is my cabin, ma'am. Been in my family forever." You know what I mean? You ever try to explain something obvious to someone who's dead set on not believing it? She gives this little laugh, one of those sure, buddy snorts, and tells me there's no way, because she's got every name in the subdivision memorized and mine isn't on her list. Name's Silas Trenholm, I say, and you might want to check again. But she's not having it. She's dug in deep, arms crossed, lips pressed so tight you could use them to cut lumber. If you can't prove you belong here, you need to leave now. At this point, I'm half amused, half annoyed. I've seen her kind before. People who think authority is something you wear, not something you earn. But as the conversation goes in circles, voices rising, I notice something. We're not alone. Neighbors are drifting closer, some with phones half hidden, pretending to tie shoes or check the mail, but we both know what's happening. Marjorie doesn't back down. She doubles down. Are you squatting? Renting? Because either way, you're breaking the rules. And I just shake my head. Lady, I've been here since I was a kid. You're the one standing on my land right now. And that gets people whispering. A couple of folks pull up property records on their phones, trying to look casual. One jogger stops dead, earbuds dangling, just to watch. Marjorie's voice keeps getting sharper. She threatens to call the sheriff if I can't produce documents immediately. I tell her, fine, call whoever you want. I'll be here. She does. Pulls out her phone and makes a show of it, telling the dispatcher there's a hostile trespasser. The crowd's growing now, phones pointed our way, eyes wide, the scent of something big and messy about to go down. Sirens echo across the lake, red and blue lights slicing through the trees. I'm still leaning on the porch rail, hands tucked into my pockets like this is all just another summer evening. But Marjorie, she's pacing, veins popping, ready to bring down the hammer. The deputies roll up, Walker and Perez, I come to learn. They step out with that careful, cautious look cops get when they know they're walking into a mess. What's going on here? Walker asks. Marjorie launches into her speech. Rules, regulations, community standards, the works. This man refuses to leave. She says, he's harassing me. I don't interrupt, not at first. When she finishes, I nod to the officers and say, my name's Silas Trenholm. This is my cabin. And before anyone throws me out, I've got a stack of deeds inside that prove not just this, but the land around it belongs to me. Walker's eyebrow goes up. Got ID and papers? I nod. Go inside. come back with the binder, set it down on the rail like a chess move, flipping to the right page, showing county seals and signatures. Marjorie snorts, calls it fake, says anybody can print a deed off the internet. The deputies, though, they check the numbers, call it in. While we wait, the crowd hushes, the tension so thick you could snap it. Finally, the radio crackles. Records confirm, Silas Trenholm, owner of the Lakeside parcels and multiple adjoining lots. That, right there, shifts everything. The crowd buzzes, folks whispering, phones held higher. Marjorie's face goes white, but she isn't done. She's arguing that paperwork can be forged, that the system must be broken, that I'm somehow manipulating the whole county. I've had enough. You don't even know me, I tell her. You didn't ask. You just saw a man you didn't recognize and decided he didn't belong. Says more about you than about me. Even the deputies look uncomfortable now. Perez steps up, tells Marjorie that if she keeps pushing without evidence, she might be the one in trouble for misuse of emergency services. The crowd stirs, some laughing quietly, others snapping photos, posting to who knows where. But Marjorie isn't the type to bow out gracefully. She pleads with the crowd, insists I'll ruin everything, that I'll destroy the community. It's almost funny. The more she shouts, the more people seem to pull away from her. Harold, this old-timer in a baseball cap, calls out, "Funny, Marjorie, looks to me like he's the only one staying calm here." There's laughter, real laughter, and you can see her authority crumbling in real time. The deputies tell her it's over, tell me I'm free to stay. I nod, thank them, and start to gather my things, ready to head inside and leave the mess behind. But as I step through the door, I know it's not done. Not by a long shot. See, the story doesn't stop just because the law drives away. In a town like this, word spreads fast, faster than wildfire, faster than common sense. By sundown, videos are already bouncing through group chats, Facebook threads lighting up with people who have never even been to the lake, debating HOA power trips and landowner rights. Strangers stop by, neighbors who never bothered to say hello drop off muffins, some sheepish, some curious, all eager to see the guy who stood up to the queen of the HOA. I take it in stride, keep my head down. I'm not here for fame, just peace. But for Marjorie, it's a long, brutal fall. At the grocery store, people whisper. In church, the pastor's sermon about humility feels like it's aimed squarely at her. The HOA calls an emergency meeting, and this time, it's not her show anymore. Board members lay it out. She embarrassed the association, tried to humiliate a neighbor, turned the whole place into a punchline. There's a vote, and just like that, clipboard and title stripped, Marjorie's out. I hear about it later from a neighbor, who grins and says, "You started something, Silas, whether you meant to or not." The videos keep spreading, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube. Strangers offer to interview me, but I ignore them. I never wanted the spotlight. I just wanted a quiet place to fish. But I can't help noticing how folks treat me different. Kids wave when they bike past the cabin, parents nod. Even those who once took Marjorie's side admit maybe they'd given too much power to someone who didn't know how to use it. That Sunday night, I sit on the old dock, rod in hand, sun going down in streaks of gold and orange. I pull out my granddad's pocket knife, flipping it open and closed, thinking about everything that's happened. Control. People cling to it like a life raft, and sometimes that grip blinds them to simple truth. I remember my dad's words, respect is given until it's lost, and shouting doesn't win you anything worth having. Funny thing is, I never raised my voice. Didn't need to. The truth did the shouting for me. I hope Marjorie learns something from this. I hope the neighbors do too. But maybe I needed the lesson as much as anyone. That sometimes you have to step out of the background, let your story be known, if only so people see there's another way to stand your ground. By the next week, the videos have gone viral. People far from our lake have opinions, some angry, some cheering me on. Marjorie's reputation never recovers. The HOA votes her out. But I don't gloat. I just keep fishing, keep to myself, live the way I always have. In the end, it's not about deeds or bylaws or who has the louder voice. It's about how you treat people and what you do when someone tries to shove you off ground that's rightfully yours. Sometimes the loudest authority is just a clipboard with no weight behind it. Real strength? That's quiet, rooted, unmovable, the kind that stands still while the world tries to push you off your porch. If you've stuck with me this far, if you think stories like this matter, about standing your ground, about the danger of pride and the power of quiet strength, drop your thoughts below. Where's the line between leadership and control? Have you ever seen authority twisted for someone's ego? Let's talk about it. Because in the end, truth has a voice, and when it speaks, it's louder than any clipboard ever could be.